Is the pressure on yourself helping your creative expression flourish? Or are you diminishing your own capabilities because you think that you should be somebody else right now, when in reality you're exactly who you need to be right now? And maybe the person that you are right now is the one that's going to make the thing. Did you consider that? That maybe who you are in this very moment is exactly who you need to be in order to get it done. Every decision in your life leading up to this moment, every choice, but most importantly, the choice to be creative, the choice to make art, the choice to be authentic, to go on the journey of self-discovery and self-compassion, all of it. All of the choices that you've made in your life, even if none of that is accurate, what if you are exactly who you need to be? Why do you need to be someone else? What's wrong with you? Because I don't think that there is anything wrong. I think the only thing that would, that I would be able to point out is your inability to acknowledge the self-sabotage and the self-betrayal. Maybe that hurts, but God didn't just give you the ability to create. God gave you the ability to forgive yourself. And you can do that anytime you wish. Sometimes it's not easy, but it's powerful. And forgiveness has helped me become who I am today. I wouldn't be who I am if I didn't forgive myself all of the terrible decisions, life choices that I made, people that I chose to let have power over me. But it doesn't matter anymore, because now I have bigger fish to fry, and it's between me and me. Just like these problems are between you and you, I saw this quote today that said, taking responsibility for your life means that you have no one to blame. Sometimes we can get so caught up in blaming other people that we forget that we're the masters of our reality and our brain. We're the one driving the ship. All we need to do is just steer it in the right direction, even if that means learning how. Time is moving, and sometimes that can be really scary because it makes you think about your own mortality and all of the things you want to accomplish and do in this lifetime. And it can be really daunting, and especially when you see other people doing it, or other people that are a couple of steps ahead of you, making money before you start making money, anything like that. Comparison can really egg on feeling the need to put pressure. I think it's normal to want to be great. I think it's healthy. I think what's not healthy is when we, want to hate ourselves or pressure ourselves into being who we think we should be, or who we think we would be rewarded for being. Because sometimes it's not about morphing and, carving yourself into something that you're not, something that you think that you're meant to be in order to receive what it is or achieve what it is that you want to. But it's about letting go of your own expectations for yourself and allowing yourself to be where you're at and meeting yourself there. Because when we put so much pressure on ourselves to be ahead or to be up to par where somebody else is or anything like that, it can actually stifle our own progress. And I've been really battling with my creative output and dealing with deep-rooted shame around creating. And I was putting a lot of pressure on myself to create things that I loved, but there was a problem. I kept shaming myself, and I kept saying it has to be now. I have to do these things now, otherwise I'm going to run out of time. But the reality is that there's no such thing as time. There's no time pressure. There's no deadline. And by trying to force myself to meet this expectation that's unrealistic for me right now, I'm actually taking more time than I would if I just stopped and accepted where I'm at, and accept that sometimes uncovering yourself under all of the rubble that life can pile on top of us and the way that we think about ourselves, it's actually worth the time spent, and will get you a lot farther along than if you don't. I grew up being very much so praised for my creativity. I was the good drawer, in class. Whenever the teacher needed something to be drawn, everyone would always single me out, like that kind of thing. And it was almost like this channel for validation that, I fed into, which introduced me to perfectionism. And that was a battle for a really long time until I moved to the city and kind of broke down those walls within my own mind of like, my creativity is a divine and spiritual experience, and it is messy, and maybe it's cringe, maybe it's ugly, maybe it's absolutely weird and not conventional, but some of my greatest ideas have been thoughts that I have shamed. And it's really interesting to think about how much we actually limit ourselves by putting so much pressure on ourselves, and relieving that pressure is a process. But it's a much better way to spend your time, rather than spending your time putting pressure on yourself to fit into this box, when instead you can spend your time undoing the box. And I've been put in boxes my whole life, and I've very, very much tried to pressure myself into conforming to these things, but dancing to the beat of your own drum will always be the better option. So in this recovery that I've been going through, and I will make a video about this in its entirety once I'm finished with it, but one of the things that I've been learning about is anger as well, and my goodness, have I gotten angry at myself for letting things affect me, letting things stand in my way, in between me and my projects, making excuses, blaming other people that aren't even doing anything, but it's my own brain. It's my own brain that's, it's self-sabotage. And I think putting pressure on yourself is self-sabotage, where you're just completely missing the mark. You want to feel that feeling of creating, and your heart is just set on fire, and that inspiration just rushes through you, and it's the most beautiful feeling in the world to create. Sometimes it can be really, really annoying and really boring and really hard, because you need to finish things and then put them out and then do all the admin and all of that stuff. But I'd say it's all worth it in the end, suffering for something that you absolutely love. And if suffering means that you have to take a step back and accept where you're at, stop putting so much pressure on yourself, and just take one step forward at a time rather than trying to rush ahead. Enjoy the scenery. Enjoy every small mistake, every small failure. And don't forget to look back and be proud of how far you've come, because it's not easy. It's not easy to, constantly be keeping yourself in check, and sometimes you're just not going to have good days, and that's fine too. But as long as you have a commitment to showing up, and you have a commitment to experiencing joy and true happiness when it comes to creating, then you will find that happiness, and hopefully success as well, in whatever form that comes in. And I think the best way to always think about this stuff is to define what success means for you. For me personally, I want to be happy. Happiness also entails financial stability. It doesn't have to be lavish, but as long as I can continue to progress in my creative exploration, then I am happy. As long as I get to be able to do this and help other people, keeping, who I am, keep developing my artistry and sharing that, then I'm happy. So what does that mean for you? What will make you happy? What does success look like? It can be simple, and I think it should be, being like Beyonce. You'll miss a lot of happiness if that's your goal. Because I think when you have smaller goals, then you can achieve them and feel good about it. You could sell out a small town venue, but because you're not Beyonce yet, you think that it's nothing. So that's something to think about. Other than that, be kind to yourself, because if there's anyone that you can rely on to have your back all the time, if you choose it, it's yourself. So remember that. Remember to be kind to yourself. And just keep going. Just keep going. Just keep moving forward. Every time you fall, just keep picking yourself back up again. Keep going. I hope that this video helped, and I will see you in the next one.